to yet another exciting episode of Logistics Pe Charcha. I am Prajakta Karnik, editor of Logistics Outlook magazine, and today we have with us a young, dynamic, and second generation entrepreneur, Mr. Jeet Shah. Jeet is the director and CFO of SJ Logistics. Welcome, Jeet.
Hi Prajakta, thank you for inviting me. First of all, I can say it's a privilege to be here. And of course, it's a good thing that you are building up a segment wherein we, as a logistics industry, we can come and talk about it and share our views about it.
To just begin with, I would like to understand the journey of SJ Logistics. It's a family-owned business, and how did that start? And how did you get into this business? And what motivated you to be in it?
Everything started in a small car started by my father in the year 1999. But going rewind, my father is a chartered accountant and a gold medalist in accounts and costing. And he started his journey with Mafatlal Group in the audit team. And there he got an exposure in the exim department. And of course, he was a Gujarati mind, and Gujaratis, they always think out of the box and they always want to do something. So in 1999, he got that motivation. He started with SJ as a proprietary firm. And since then, I have seen him slogging day in and day out, working hard, and of course, building this empire, I can say. And of course, as I've seen him since my childhood days, even I got interested. I've been hearing about 40 feet containers, 20 feet containers, and ye vessel, wo vessel, ye port, wo port. Since my childhood, of course, it has become a part of my childhood as well. And that's where I got the, you can say, a motivation to join the business. And I joined him in 2017, and it has been a good journey since then. Touch wood, we have been doing good. And of course, we are hoping for much better things to happen in future.
Absolutely. So basically, you mentioned that in 2017, that's when you got into the business. Those were the times when actually the challenges began. So given the current scenario, how are you seeing these challenges, and how is SJ also facing them, and how is India positioned in it?
See, of course, it is always better if you see tough times when you join the business. And I am happy that when I joined, the geopolitical situations were tough. So I have seen the freights going down. I have seen the freights going up during COVID. I have again seen the freights coming down. So I have been a part of a journey wherein I have seen all the scenarios where we are struggling to get the containers, we are struggling to get the space. But yes, also the times when we are enjoying a good time where we are minting money because we have good contracts. Of course, India is placed well. I won't give any support to the government or something, but yes, from past 10 years, we are seeing a massive difference when it comes to logistics infrastructure in India. The government is actually listening and understanding that for any country to grow, we need to have an infrastructure. That is what China did when they wanted to grow massively. And that is what India is doing right now, because we are growing at every stretch in India, be it any part of the country, we are growing. So that is the reason India is placed well. It is under good hands, and that is the reason. If you see, there are various projects. I would specifically talk about logistics industry because government is taking up many initiatives to bring in good things. Be it the recent logistics policy. Of course, if you see, they are building the infrastructure so that the logistics costs come down. The main motto of this government is to bring the 14% logistics cost that is right now, to bring it down, to bring it to a level where we can compete with the developed nations, be it US, Japan, anyone. And it is in safe hands, I would again repeat, and hoping for good things ahead.
Absolutely. But there is always a debate about the number 14. The magical number for that matter, and then coming down to 8 to 9%. How far are we, on achieving that now that we have some port infrastructure also coming up? But when it comes to last mile connectivity, right, how is that? Are we actually well placed in that?
I would give a classic example in this. Year 2015-16, or say 17 when I joined the business. I would give my personal example in this. We have our yard, that is a trucking yard in Jasai, Nhava Sheva. So in 2017, if I wanted to go to Jasai, I used to take 2.5 hours maybe to reach because of the road conditions. Today, if I leave my house at say 10 o'clock in the morning, I reach maximum by 11. Why? Because of the infrastructure. This is the massive difference that they have made the connectivity. This is just one example which I am giving from my personal experience. So the infrastructure that has been developed near the Nhava Sheva port is beautiful. If you ask someone who used to go to Nhava Sheva in the year 2002, 3, 4, I have heard stories when my dad used to sleep in the car at night because there was no connectivity or there were no street lights or many other reasons. And today you can travel anytime, anywhere, and so swiftly. So this is the difference. One difference which I am telling, apart from that, say the best example right now which is going on is the Mumbai-Delhi Express Highway or the Samruddhi Mahamarg. I am talking about the west coast of India because that is where the major volume of India is as of now. So if you see these projects, last mile delivery, of course right now we still see it as a pain point, but last mile delivery going forward, maybe in a half decade, maybe 5 years from now, would be in past for us, and we would be just thinking of those days. Like people say, un dino mein main ye karta. So that would be something which would be talking about 5 years from now. So it is good. The progress is good. Of course, there are many political challenges, many things happening, many projects is getting delayed, but yes, this is part and parcel of any democracy. We have to live with it, but the last mile delivery would be much better going forward in the next 4-5 years.
Absolutely. So at the same time, I mean, exports are increasing, and even the domestic consumption has grown. Right. So the government has come up with the national waterways and inland waterways. So how are you seeing that improving because earlier it was only dependent, the entire transportation for domestic market was dependent on road transportation. That's and right. To some extent we are going on to railways. But now with these waterways coming up, how are you seeing that improvement?
So waterways is something government is working on very well. There are many, you can say, cleanups going on. They are trying to build up many rivers who can give a good amount of draft for the barge vessels. And this is something which will help and decrease the pressure on the transportation. And of course, this is still an initiative. Of course, the government has a good vision regarding this, and I see it as a game changer if if it becomes a reality, and I'm sure they will make sure that it becomes a reality. Absolutely. So surely it will be a game changer, and of course, inland waterways is something we should always capitalize on because of the connectivity that India has in terms of rivers and many other ways. And let's see, it should be a reality soon.
Absolutely. You were pretty candid on saying that the logistics players did mint money during the COVID period. During when the freight rates were up. So currently, what's the scenario, and is this giving a tough time for the logistics players?
See, COVID was something. It happens once in a millennial. Right? It is not something that will come again. It is something that was new for everyone. It is not just that we minted money. We have also seen tough times. We have seen times in April, May, June of 2020 when it was very depressing. Like we got an approval that we can travel, as at that time not everyone was allowed to travel. It was very depressing to see that there were no cars on the road, there were no people on the road. So we have seen tough times as well, managing the drivers at that time because COVID was at its peak. Of course, every coin has two sides. We saw the struggles as well, but yes, of course, when the freight rates went up, there's no denying that yes, not just us, but shipping lines, they minted money. They minted money for 7 generations. Yes. Yeah, so there's no denying to that. But of course, there is a time now when the freights are dipping, the freights are coming down. Geopolitical situations, of course, the war situations, see, they would be there always because there would be wars going on everywhere. Of course, the Russia-Ukraine issue, it has subsided to some extent. The Israel issue, it has subsided to some extent. Now, new issue that has come up is Donald Trump bringing in the tariffs on the Chinese
Correct.
vessels. So these situations, they come up. They always come up. And if you ask me, Donald Trump is also right on his side, because as India started a process of a thinking process that we need to boost make in India,
Correct.
and that is something that is now ingrained in everyone's blood in India, that make in India karna hai. The same way Trump is trying to bring US back into those days wherein they were into shipbuilding,
Correct.
they were doing those things which is now dominated by the Chinese. So of course he's right at his place, but of course the trade will be affected by that, because today major ships that are going
Yes.
around are Chinese vessels. So of course I see this as a temporary issue wherein there might be some mitigation going ahead. And yes, there would be some disruption. We are expecting some disruption, but yes, again, as I say, logistics industry will never bog down. They'll always find new ways to they'll navigate new routes. Like when the Suez Canal was closed, we navigated through
Cape.
Africa, Cape of Good Hope. So we always navigate new routes, and the ship is always sailing.
Absolutely. Yeah, as you mentioned, Make in India, and even the government is, focusing on shipbuilding, increasing, but the capacity that we currently have, and it takes a longer time to build a ship. How difficult would it be if we don't have the vessels coming in?
See, as I said, currently the issue is restricted to US. Taking an example of this current scenario, see, luckily, till now, India has not come under that radar.
Correct.
Because currently China, Mexico, and Canada, these three countries are under their radar. But yes, there would be a time when India would also come into the radar, because India is a big partner for
Correct.
US, and there are many things coming to and fro from US, from India. But currently, if we talk about US, by this tariff plan, currently US is the one who is suffering. Because if you must have read a recent article, the farmers in US, they are struggling because there are no vessels to carry their agricultural
Correct.
products out of US to other countries. So what I see, as I mentioned previously, this is a temporary issue. There would be some policies that would be put in place, and there won't be, say, such a huge tariff. Like they are saying $1.5 million for each vessel coming into, Chinese vessel coming into US. This would be something that would get some correction. That is what I expect. Of course, Trump would put a major thrust on starting shipbuilding, but yes, as you mentioned, it takes time. So there would be some policy reductions, the tariff reductions, or maybe some compensation that they might give, like, okay, today you are getting penalized, but in future you will get back the money. So it's something that they will discuss, of course. And yes, US is firm on building the ships, but yes, it will take time for sure.
In this scenario, do you see India, as we were saying that China plus one, are we seeing India as one of the topmost partners for all the countries?
See, the best part, as I previously mentioned, we have a strong government as of now, and the ties that we have is really good. We are maintaining those relationships with each and every country going ahead, and in some or the other way, it is helping us.
Correct.
At the age of 76, even our Prime Minister is traveling around the world. So we have a clear plan that India wants to be at the top. India should not be someone who is getting bogged down by some other country, but yes, India is someone who is running shoulder to shoulder with other countries. So that is the reason I see that we as a country would always move forward positively, and the policies would always be placed in favor of India. If you see today, we have massive trade with US. Yeah, for sure, but still US is hesitant to do something against India. Yes, of course, they are talking that India puts tariffs on US imports into India. We will also put the tariff, but nothing is as concrete as for, say, Chinese people or
Correct.
Mexico or Canada. So this is something which they'll always delay, because we are a very strong ally and we are a very strong partner for them.
Absolutely. Talking about these, the trade agreements that we have done, There have been talks that initially, because since it's a cross-border thing, so the policies in some of the countries are not that conducive when it comes to trade. Even unloading of cargo, customs clearances, those are not pretty conducive. So with these trade agreements happening, are we seeing those changes?
Of course, we might see some changes going ahead. India getting preference in many countries, and of course, not sure how it will be placed going ahead. But yes, India might get some preference somewhere. Like, okay, you are bringing in cargo from India. Okay, you need not do this process. You need not do these process. Of course, there might be some agreements that are coming into place because, as I said, we look forward as a positive country everywhere, and the respect that we get is always increasing. And the cargoes, of course, the flows is very good. As you see, 2 days back they announced that the trade deficit is also reduced to $14 billion. So that is the reason you see there's a mentality shift in India. And why? Because India is being seen positively, and even people in India, they are getting more encouraged to export. They are getting those incentives to export goods. So that is the reason it is not just about the trade policies, but of course what benefits the exporters are getting into India, or what benefits the importers are getting into India. So there's a mentality shift, and it'll be something that will be a game changer going ahead.
You are into the business of FCL, LCL both. During COVID, we saw that FCL was not doing that great, and people were shifting to LCL. What is the scenario right now?
Our major business has always been FCLs, and trust me, during COVID, FCL was also good for us.
Okay.
See what happens when you are a strong player. The shipping lines have confidence in you. So during COVID, say for example, if a particular XYZ shipping line, they used to bring in say 10 vessels in a month. During COVID, that had come down to 3 or 4 vessels. So there was a capacity constraint. But being a long time player and given proven records, they used to allot us a good space, which was not there for majority of the players. I won't say it was just for us, but yes, there are bigger players as well who even got the space. But majority of the players didn't have that capacity. They had the appetite. Appetite is with everyone. मतलब सबको सब धंधा करना है. But the trust that we have built, that is the reason we used to get good amount of space. We used to get good rates, even during the peak COVID times. So FCL was good for us, of course, and we shipped good amount of containers. And right now there's no limit on capacity. Every shipping line is giving capacity, and of course we have long-term contracts with majority of the shipping lines. So that is the reason FCL is still good for us, and we are doing good in that.
You're also into project cargo.
That's right.
How has that been? Because we are seeing a lot of projects happening, even in the solar side. What's your...
So just giving a history about this, we started doing project cargo in 2016. Previously, we were focusing as a freight forwarding player only. But then yes, with the times changing and with the evolving nature of our country as well, we started focusing on the projects. Because previously, giving a very easy example, India used to import mining equipments. If there has to be any mining process in India, any mining site, India used to import. But now the tables have turned. India is now exporting mining equipments from India, and this is a major shift. This is something which we should be proud about, that something we used to bring in, now we are giving it out. So this is a small example, and 2016 we started focusing on this. We started doing ODC cargoes like mining equipments. We started focusing on projects like the electrification cargoes going into various countries, be it in South America, be it in Africa, be it any landlocked countries within these continents, because this is something India is growing very strong into. India has now become a manufacturing hub for majority of the commodities, and we can see the shift because major manufacturers, they are building their factories in India. Like a very classic example, Apple leaving China and coming into India. This is one household name that we have. Like everyone
Correct.
knows what Apple is. But yes, it is not about Apple, not just about Apple, but many other MNCs coming into India, or rather, many Indian companies they starting
Yes,
exporting on a
correct.
large scale because they have the confidence. Yes, it is something we started focusing in 2016 and growing strong with the day. And of course, we always want to increase our share in the project cargo and focus into diversified project cargos. So as of now, we are doing multiple commodities, but yes, of course, our target is always to increase that to different products. Like for example, you said solar. Solar is something which is a future. It's there, of course, it is existing, but still people are not very much aware about it. Solar is something that will, of course, boom in coming years. So that is also something that we are focusing on. For example, previously solar used to come from China.
Yes.
Now India again. Now we know we are adopting the process that China used to do. Get the know-how, start
Yes.
manufacturing in China and do it. So India is now doing reverse way. We also trying to get the know-how. We are manufacturing and we are exporting.
Absolutely,
So this is Project Cargo is the future.
Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav, he recently mentioned that Railways is also
That's
doing
right.
a lot of exports.
That's right. So if you see, there are many where there are no ICDs. Okay, so they are building facilities where there is a rail connectivity. Okay, so for example, if there's a place there is no ICD, okay, they are building places wherein they have rail facilities. They are now building container storage yards. They are building warehousing and giving very good connectivity. As you said, railways is something, and it is not just about railways. Of course, railways is one of the part who are they are focusing on reducing the logistics cost, because railways is one of the factors which will help you reducing the logistics cost very faster. And apart from that, of course, as we spoke previously about the inland waterways, good road connectivity. So all in all, we are focusing on infrastructure in all ways. It is not just about the roads, or not just about the waterways, or not just about the railways, but all three modes we are really focusing well. And railways is surely going to be a game changer, because that is something which will help in a faster movement of the cargo.
We are seeing the multimodal,
MMLPA.
yes,
That's
multimodal
what. So
logistics parks.
So that's what I was talking about. The places which they are saying they'll build the railway connectivity, or bring the container storage, or build the warehouses which include a cold storage as well,
Correct.
or a normal warehousing as well. So this is all under a part of multimodal logistics park, that is MMLP. So there are various MMLPs that are already developed. So the first one was in Assam, which was taken up by Reliance. And post that, I think now there are 9 MMLPs that are already, 5 are already constructed if I'm not wrong, and 4 are already allotted and under construction, and there are total 36 MMLPs that they are planning to. So just imagine how huge that project is, and this covers almost all the industrial areas wherein there are small scale exporters who are still hesitant because of the logistics cost. So for example, there's a small allotted place, MMLPA in Anantapur. So Anantapur is a place near in Andhra Pradesh. It is right at the border of Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka. And I've spoken to people regarding this. So I know MMLPA Anantapur is a small place. So why it is so important? So Kia has their plant in MMLPA Anantapur, and there are various agro products that are over there. So currently there are many players who are still very much hesitant into exporting the cargoes, because the logistics cost, it is right at the center.
Correct.
So going east or going west, both ports, the logistics cost is pretty high. But if there's a MMLPA coming into that location, just imagine how much leverage the exporters are getting.
Absolutely.
They have an infrastructure right in front of their eyes. They know where they need to ship they need to hand over their goods. It's the same place where the custom clearance would be done. Same place wherein everything for them is available, right from storage or anything they require. So this is just one example. Like this, 36 MMLPAs are into planning, and it will be a game changer for sure.
Talking about warehousing, and especially when it comes to exports, we are seeing many companies getting into bonded warehouses.
That's right.
So, is there a plan for SJ also doing the same, or and why the need for bonded warehouse?
See, bonded warehouse, the biggest advantage for a bonded warehouse is that you can save on the duties right on day one, and it helps to improve the cash flow. So for example, if someone brings in goods and they put it into a bonded warehouse, and for example today they are consignee, they need say only 50% of the goods. So what they do is they bring out the 50% of the goods from the bonded warehouse, they pay the duty on that, and they can give it to the consignee. So the balance 50% still stays in the bonded warehouse. You don't have to pay the duties upfront. You keep the products in the bonded warehouse, and whenever there's a requirement, you can pull it out of the warehouse. So what happens? This gives them an additional, you can say, leverage into working capital. And not just that, bonded warehouse, of course, it is something which gives additional security as it is under the customs, and there's an additional layer of security, you can say. So of course, we would also love to venture into this, no doubt. Something which requires additional regulatory permissions, and you need to be ready for that for sure.
Correct.
And of course, something we always foresee that it is good in demand, and of course we'll do something into this.
Currently, do we have that in kind of infrastructure?
We do have a warehouse, but currently for bonded warehouse, we are still into the process.
Okay, and the industry as such?
Industry, yes, for sure. There are many bonded warehouses in the industry, and people are using bonded warehouses.
Now, going to another interesting topic is technology and AI.
Ah.
Everyone is scared about AI, but then everyone wants to use AI as well. So, how is SJ Logistics implementing AI and technology?
See, technology is something that cannot be ignored. See, every industry in some or the other way is getting disrupted by technology. So classic example, I would ask you, how often do you go to a marketplace now to buy a grocery?
Very few times.
Yeah,
it's e-commerce now.
E-commerce, Instamart, Blinkit.
Correct.
We have it because why? Because this is a technology disruption, and I am pretty sure logistics industry would also be a part of this. Not today, not tomorrow, but yes, of course, times to come. Because if you see, blockchain has already entered our industry. So the physical exchange of the BLs, that is something which has reduced now. Major shipping lines are offering blockchain technology, and reason being, it is safe. Today, if I courier a BL, a physical BL, there's always a risk that the courier company would, misplace it and it gets lost, and then it's a huge headache. In a blockchain technology, you have everything in your hand. Whenever you want to move the rights to your consignee or your counterpart, you can do that sitting in your office. So it is safe. This is one disruption. I won't say disruption, but yes, of course, something new that has come into the industry, and people are getting used to it, because there are majority of the shipping lines are offering as it's an option.
Correct.
You can choose it. But yes, in the coming days, it won't remain an option. It would be something that you have to do, and you have to get used to it. So this is one technology that has come in. There would be various other technologies that would be coming in, say AI. AI would give you real-time updates about your containers, about your cargo, like things which we can't even imagine that AI can do.
Correct.
And of course, everything has two sides. Every coin has two sides. AI would be dangerous as well. But yes, we have to go with the flow. We have to accept what the market is saying, and yes, whenever required, we would take steps that are absolutely necessary to be done. But yeah, let's see how technology unfolds.
Let's hope for the good part of it.
Good part, of course. Let's hope for the good part. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because of technology, of course, many shipping lines are trying to be a little bit of a freight forwarder as well. So, how are you seeing that? Because a few have actually done that with,
Right.
their data being online, and shipping
right.
shippers can directly approach them.
Right.
So, is that a threat for freight forwarders?
See, freight forwarding as an industry, it moves forward on the basis of your relationship. So we have good relations with the shippers. Of course, Today, if I want to click a new business, of course, even that shipper would have relationship with some other freight forwarder.
Correct.
So everyone is protected as of now. What shipping lines they are entering, no doubt, they are also, see, they have the rates, they have everything in their hand. But you take time to build a relationship. Every shipper takes time to build that confidence into a service provider. Now, you won't switch a service provider every day. Like today, you are using Airtel, tomorrow, you will use Vodafone, 2 days after, you will use Jio. That is not possible.
Correct.
If you have put in trust on some service provider, you will always trust them and always give them the upper hand. Of course, even we as a freight forwarder, we have to prove that yes, we are providing that quality of services. And if we do that, then of course it's not a threat. It is always on how you perform in comparison to anyone, be it any MNC, be it any local forwarder, or be it any shipping line. It is on us how we consistently perform and keep that level of service.
Coming to the last question, how are you seeing SJ Logistics positioned in the next 3 to 5 years?
Of course, SJ Logistics, we are touchwood. We have been doing good. Post our listing on NSE, we have good market support, and we are thankful to our investors for that because they are placing a good trust on us. Going forward, of course, our major thrust would be on the project cargo business, and apart from that, if you see, we have added various verticals. So we started with our NVOCC, and we are running into Gulf, Upper Gulf, and Far East sectors. Apart from that, we also got our ITA license last year, and we are doing pretty good with the air cargo as well. So all in all, if you see, we are an end-to-end logistics service providers, and moving ahead, of course, if at all we would be expanding, it would be in a logistics arm only, expanding vertically. See, logistics as an industry, it has various opportunities. It is a very vast industry.
Absolutely.
There was a time when everyone used to think logistics, matlab, you have trailers, you are running the trailers, or you have a go down, not a warehouse. You have a go down and you are running a go down. So the mentality is shifting now. People are understanding that logistics is not just about a trailer or a go down. So
it's much more.
It is much more. It is a very wide term. Yes, going forward, SJ Logistics is positive about the industry, positive about the country. And we see that with the growth that the country is having, even SJ Logistics would be growing.
Absolutely. So basically, the cake is big and everyone can have a share.
For sure.
And everyone will coexist.
But we want the cherry, for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely, along with the cake.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today, and it was great chatting with you. Hope you also enjoyed this conversation.
For sure. As I mentioned right at the start, that it's a privilege to be a part of this conversation, because it is not just about the SJ Logistics as a company. It is about the industry. Because I want people to understand that logistics as an industry is very important. Okay, and I'm happy that you're calling out people from the industry who can share their views and maybe make people aware this. ये industry है, कुछ है. It is a big chunk into the nation's economy development. And thank you for taking up this initiative. And we are happy to be here and always part of the growth of the country.
Great. So a young entrepreneur actually giving out his true views on this subject. Great to have you on this show.
Thank you so much.